Galactic cultural exchange had been Admiral Zefix's most treasured assignment. For 3 cycles, she had overseen the peaceful integration of species across 17 sectors, facilitating the sharing of art, philosophy, and creative expression. The crystalline hegemony's floating symphonies, the void dancer's gravitational poetry, the botanical collective's photosynthetic paintings, all had found their place in the grand tapestry of galactic culture. But nothing had prepared her for humanity's music. The humans had arrived at Station Harmony with their peculiar fleshy forms and bipedal gait, carrying strange wooden and metallic objects they called instruments. Within days, their music had spread through every corridor, every recreation area, every diplomatic quarter. The other species were entranced. The crystalline's natural harmonics resonated with human melodies. The void dancers found themselves moving to rhythms they had never imagined. Even the normally stoic Silicon oligarchy had requested copies of something humans called classical compositions. "It's extraordinary," Dr. Melix of the Botanical Collective had reported to Zefix. "Their music triggers emotional responses across species barriers. We're documenting neurochemical changes in 17 different alien brain structures." Zefix herself had felt it that strange, stirring when the humans played their orchestras, the way her 3 hearts seemed to synchronize with their percussion. She had never experienced anything like it in her 4 centuries of life. The humans seemed pleased by the reception. Ambassador Chen had smiled, that peculiar facial expression humans made when content. "Music is universal," he had said. "It speaks to something deeper than language." But it was during the Kythera crisis that everything changed. The Kythera swarm had emerged from the void between galaxies, a hive mind of insectoid creatures that consumed entire civilizations. They moved with terrifying coordination, their ships flowing like liquid metal through space. Every defensive strategy the Galactic Council had deployed had failed. The crystalline's harmonic weapons were useless against creatures with no auditory organs. The void dancer's spatial manipulations were easily countered by the swarm's adaptive technology. As evacuation orders went out across 17 sectors, Ambassador Chen had made an unusual request. "We need every human ship equipped with external speakers," he had said. "Maximum amplification." "Ambassador, this is hardly the time for a concert," Zefix had replied, her tentacles writhing with stress. Chen's expression had changed then, becoming something harder, more focused. "Admiral, you've been listening to our lullabies. Now you're going to hear our war songs." The human fleet had deployed in formation unlike anything in standard tactical doctrine. Instead of the traditional sphere or wedge, they had arranged themselves in precise geometric patterns that meant nothing to Zefix until the music began. It started as a low rumble, a rhythmic pounding that seemed to come from the humans' very souls. Then came the harmony, not the gentle melodies that had enchanted the station, but something primal and fierce. Instruments she had never heard before joined the symphony. Massive drums that thundered like dying stars, horns that screamed like solar winds, strings that sang of ancient battles. "What is this?" Zefix whispered, watching her displays as the human formation moved with impossible coordination. "This," Ambassador Chen had said, his eyes fixed on the approaching swarm, "is what we've been training for since we first picked up sticks and beat them against hollow logs." The human ships moved as one entity, their formation shifting and flowing to the rhythm of their war music. Each drum beat corresponded to a weapons discharge. Each crescendo marked a tactical maneuver. The swarm, which had adapted to every other military strategy, suddenly found itself facing something beyond their comprehension, an entire species that had turned coordination into an art form. As the battle raged, Zefix began to understand. The orchestras weren't just entertainment, they were training exercises. Every human who had ever played in a marching band, every child who had learned to keep time, every dancer who had moved to a beat was part of a species-wide military preparation program, disguised as culture. The swarm's hive mind, which had easily countered individual tactical decisions, couldn't adapt to the humans' fluid musical coordination. Every ship captain was both a warrior and a musician, capable of improvisation while maintaining perfect harmony with the whole. When the final Kythera vessel fell silent, the human fleet continued its musical destruction for exactly 4 more measures before ending on a perfect, synchronized note. In the aftermath, as salvage crews picked through the debris, Zephix approached Ambassador Chen with new understanding. "How long?" she asked. "How long has your species been preparing for this?" Chen looked out at the stars, his expression thoughtful. "Since the first human looked up at the night sky and wondered what was out there. We've always known that survival meant working together, moving as one. Music was just how we learned to do it beautifully. And the gentle songs, the lullabies and love ballads that captivated us all." Chen smiled that human smile again, but now Zephix saw the steel beneath it. "Every army needs to know what it's fighting for, Admiral. Beauty, love, the things worth protecting. Those are the most powerful weapons of all." As the human fleet prepared to depart, their victory song echoing through the void, Zephix realized that the galaxy would never underestimate humanity again. They had spent decades sharing their art, their culture, their music, and in doing so they had revealed themselves to be the most dangerous species the stars had ever seen. Not because they were violent, but because they had learned to make violence beautiful.